The marble lobby of the Sterling Hotel's elite in downtown Chicago gleamed under the soft glow of crystal chandeliers, their light refracting off polished surfaces like whispers of wealth. At exactly 3:30 p.m., a woman stepped through the revolving glass doors, pulling a modest rolling suitcase behind her. She wore a simple black pantsuit off the rack from a department store, with minimal jewelry and comfortable flats. Her natural curls were neatly pulled back, and her expression was calm but observant, taking in every detail of the opulent space. To anyone watching, she was just another guest unremarkable, perhaps even out of place in this five-star establishment. But what the staff didn't know, what the man in the tailored suit flashing a platinum watch didn't realize, was that this woman, Lila Thompson, was no ordinary guest. She was Amara Jenkins, the founder and CEO of Jenkins Horizon Group, the new owner of this very hotel, and she was here to uncover its darkest secrets. Get out. The VIP suite is not for people like you, the receptionist snapped, her perfectly styled blonde hair bobbing as she leaned forward, her voice cutting through the hum of the lobby. This is the last time I'll repeat myself. Amara, standing calmly at the front desk, felt a familiar burn in her chest but kept her face composed. I booked this suite 3 weeks ago and paid in full, she replied, sliding her phone across the counter to show the confirmation email. Why is it suddenly unavailable? The receptionist, whose name tag read Claire, barely glanced at the screen. There's been a mix-up. The suite's been reassigned to a more suitable guest. Her tone dripped with condescension, her eyes flicking over Amara's modest attire. And what makes someone suitable exactly? Amara asked, her voice low but sharp, cutting through the receptionist's fake smile like a blade. Claire's expression faltered for a split second before she recovered. Ma'am, you're causing a disturbance. We have a standard room available for you. Take it, or I'll have to call security. What Claire didn't know, what no one in that lobby knew, was that Amara was recording every word, every glance, every moment of this blatant discrimination. Her phone, discreetly angled in her hand, captured it all. As we dive into this story, if you believe everyone deserves respect, no matter who they are, hit the subscribe button on Legacy Stories, share this tale with others, and type justice in the comments below. Because this isn't just a story, it's a reckoning. Amara Jenkins wasn't born into privilege. 25 years ago, at 19, she was pushing a housekeeping cart down the dimly lit corridors of a mid-tier Chicago hotel, earning $9 an hour. A single mother to a toddler, she worked double shifts to keep the lights on in her cramped studio apartment where the radiator hissed more than it heated. Her hands, rough from scrubbing floors and changing bed sheets, told a story of struggle, but her eyes burned with something else. Vision. Amara didn't just clean rooms. She studied them. She watched how the hotel operated, how guests were treated, and how some were treated better than others based on nothing more than their appearance or the color of their skin. She saw it all. Wealthy white guests were upgraded to suites they hadn't paid for, their every whim catered to with smiles and deference. Meanwhile, black families, even those with confirmed reservations, were told their bookings had complications or were shuffled to rooms near noisy service elevators. She overheard staff laughing in the break room about guests who didn't belong in their upscale establishment. Each instance of injustice fueled a fire in Amara's heart, a determination to one day rewrite the rules of an industry that prioritized profit over people. During her breaks, Amara sat in the employee cafeteria with borrowed library books on hospitality management, customer service, and financial operations. While her coworkers vented about rude guests, she calculated occupancy rates and profit margins in her head. She wasn't just surviving her job. She was dissecting it, learning its bones. After 3 grueling years, she'd saved enough to enroll in night classes at a local community college, studying business administration while still working full-time. By the time she graduated with her degree, Amara had a clear vision, a hotel industry where every guest, regardless of race, accent, or background, was treated with dignity. She believed this wasn't just ethical, it was profitable. Loyal customers, she reasoned, came from feeling valued, not from being judged. Her first break came at 25, when she approached the owner of a failing budget hotel with a bold proposal. "Give me a chance to manage your property," she said, "and I'll turn it around. I'll take a share of the profits instead of a salary." The owner, a grizzled man facing bankruptcy, had nothing to lose. He agreed, skeptical but desperate. Within 18 months, Amara transformed that rundown motel into a thriving business. She implemented strict customer service standards, hired a diverse staff, and ensured every guest felt like royalty, whether they arrived in a limousine or a beat-up sedan. Word spread quickly. This was the hotel where everyone was welcome. That success laid the foundation for Jenkins' Horizon Group, which, over the next 15 years, grew to include 47 luxury properties across 12 states. But Amara never forgot her roots. Even as her empire expanded, she made it a habit to visit her hotels undercover, booking rooms under aliases like Lila Thompson and dressing modestly to blend in. These visits weren't just about quality control. They were about ensuring the discrimination she'd witnessed as a young housekeeper never took root in her properties. Her hotels consistently topped customer satisfaction rankings, and her zero-tolerance policy for discrimination was legendary among her staff. A single complaint of bias could cost an employee their job, no exceptions. 6 days ago, Amara received the call she'd been waiting for. Sterling Hotels Elite, a struggling chain of 15 properties known for declining service and whispered rumors of discriminatory practices, was finally up for sale. Amara had been watching Sterling for months, alerted by industry insiders to their poor management and systemic biases. The acquisition was finalized in secrecy, structured through shell companies to keep her identity hidden from Sterling's current leadership. Her plan was simple but meticulous. She would spend a week experiencing Sterling's flagship Chicago property as an ordinary guest, documenting every flaw, every act of discrimination, before revealing her ownership and overhauling the chain. Under the alias Lila Thompson, Amara booked a VIP suite $900 per night, prepaid in full with her personal credit card. The confirmation email was ironclad, detailing her access to the executive lounge, complimentary spa services, and a corner suite with a city view. She chose a modest outfit, packed a single suitcase, and left her usual entourage behind. This wasn't about luxury. It was about truth. She suspected Sterling's staff would fail her test spectacularly, but she needed evidence, hard, undeniable proof, to justify the sweeping changes she planned. The night before her trip, Amara held a virtual emergency board meeting from her sleek office in Jenkins' Horizon's headquarters. Her senior team, Margaret Coleman, the board chair, Nathan Brooks, her executive assistant, Michelle Nguyen, the lead attorney, and David Larson, the legal counsel, gathered on a secure video call. "I want everyone on standby," Amara said, her voice steady but firm. "If Sterling's as bad as I suspect, we'll need to move fast to clean house." Nathan, ever meticulous, had prepared dossiers on every Sterling employee, from managers to housekeeping staff. Michelle had drafted termination papers and discrimination lawsuits ready to file at a moment's notice. Margaret, a seasoned executive in her 60s who'd mentored Amara early in her career, leaned into the camera. "Are you sure about going undercover, Amara? We can announce the acquisition now and start changes immediately." Amara shook her head. "I need to see it for myself, feel it. The only way to fix Sterling's culture is to document exactly how deep the rot goes. Her team nodded, though Nathan's brow furrowed with concern. Be careful, he said. If they're as bad as we think, they won't take kindly to being challenged. Amara arrived at the Sterling Hotel's Elite at 3:30 p.m., her suitcase, wheels clicking softly against the marble floor. The lobby was a study in understated luxury. Soaring ceilings, modern art installations, and a faint scent of jasmine. 2 staff members stood behind the long front desk. Claire, the blonde receptionist, and a man in his 30s, Daniel Whitaker, adjusting his tie as he shuffled paperwork. Amara approached, standing directly in front of them, but neither acknowledged her. Claire typed furiously at her computer, her eyes darting to Amara's modest attire before returning to the screen. Daniel busied himself with brochures, avoiding eye contact entirely. After 3 full minutes of being ignored, Amara cleared her throat. Excuse me, I'd like to check in. Claire looked up, her expression suggesting Amara was an inconvenience. Name? She asked curtly, no trace of the warmth a 5-star hotel should offer. Lila Thompson, Amara replied, using her alias. I have a reservation for the VIP suite. Claire's fingers moved slowly across the keyboard, her eyes scanning Amara's appearance, her department store suit, her simple purse, her lack of flashy accessories. I'm showing a reservation, but there's a problem, she said after an unnecessarily long pause. The VIP suite is no longer available. Amara's stomach tightened, but she kept her voice calm. What kind of problem? I booked it 3 weeks ago, confirmed it this morning, and paid $900. Here's the email. She slid her phone across the counter. Claire barely glanced at it. Sometimes online bookings glitch. We can offer you a standard room instead, at the same rate. Amara's eyes narrowed. You're saying I'll pay VIP suite prices for a standard room because you gave my reservation away? Before Claire could respond, a booming voice cut through the lobby. Whitaker. Good to see you again. A man in expensive suit, Charles. Donovan, Amara would later learn, strode in, his platinum watch glinting. Claire's fake smile transformed into a genuine one, and Daniel rushed around the counter to greet him. Mr. Donovan, welcome back, sir. How was your flight from New York? Delayed as usual, Donovan replied, his tone dripping with entitlement. But I'm here now, and I expect my usual VIP suite. Amara's blood ran cold. Her suite, the one she'd paid for. She stepped forward. Excuse me, Bats. My suite. I have a confirmed reservation. Daniel turned to her, irritation flashing across his face. Ma'am, as I explained, there were complications with your booking. No complications, Amara said firmly. You're giving my paid reservation to someone who just walked in. Donovan looked her up and down, his lip curling. There's obviously a misunderstanding. I'm a platinum member. I've been staying here for years. Amara held his gaze. And I've been confirmed for 3 weeks. I paid $900. Here's the proof. Claire jumped in, her voice syrupy. Mr. Donovan, we've resolved the issue. Your suite is ready. Amara couldn't believe the audacity. So you're canceling my confirmed paid reservation to give my room to someone else? Daniels. Patience snapped. Ma'am, Mr. Donovan is one of our most valued guests. We ensure his comfort. If you keep causing a disturbance, I'll call security. Amara felt her phone buzz lightly, Nathan checking in, but she ignored it. This was exactly what she'd come to document. And then Donovan made a fatal mistake. He pulled out a money clip stuffed with $100 bills and slid several across the counter. His eyes locked on Amara. Whitaker, let's make this work for everyone. Daniel's hand covered the bills, making them vanish with practice. Ease. Mr. Donovan, we'll sort this out, he said, his tone now warm. Amara's voice was ice. A bribe to steal my room? Ma'am, Daniel warned. Take the standard room or you'll be escorted out. The lobby grew quiet. Other guests watching. Amara realized this wasn't an isolated incident. It was a system. And she was just getting started. Amara Jenkins stood in the gleaming lobby of the Sterling Hotel's elite, her fingers tightening around the handle of her suitcase as Daniel Whitaker's threat echoed in her ears. Take the standard room, or you'll be escorted out. Weight of every eye in the lobby pressed against her guests, whispering, staff smirking, and Charles Donovan, the platinum watch-wearing executive, watching with a smug satisfaction as his bribe secured the VIP suite she'd paid for. Amara's pulse thrummed with fury, but her face remained a mask of calm. She wasn't just a guest. She was the owner of this hotel, and every discriminatory word, every sidelong glance, was being etched into her memory and her phone's recording app. Fine, she said, her voice steady despite the storm inside. I'll take the standard room. Daniel's eyebrows shot up, clearly expecting more resistance. Excellent, he replied, his tone dripping with condescension. He slid a key card across the counter. Room 214, second floor, near the service elevators. I'm sure it'll suit your needs. Amara took the key, her fingers brushing the cold plastic as she noted the deliberate insult. Near the service elevators, a room reserved for guests the staff wanted to forget. She glanced at Claire, the blonde receptionist, who was already turning back to her computer, and at Donovan, who raised his glass of complimentary champagne in a mock toast from across the lobby. The message was clear. You don't belong here. But Amara wasn't leaving. She was just beginning. As she walked toward the elevators, her phone buzzed again. Nathan Brooks, her executive assistant, no doubt checking in. She sent a quick text to her board's group chat. * discrimination confirmed. Room reassigned via bribe. Recording everything. Stand by. The response from Margaret Coleman, the board chair, was immediate. Document it all. Legal is ready. Be careful. Amara slipped her phone into her pocket, her resolve hardening. This wasn't just about one stolen suite. It was about a system of bias she'd come to dismantle. The elevator doors opened on the second floor, and the contrast to the lobby's opulence was stark. The carpet was worn, the walls scuffed, and the hum of service elevators filled the air like a low, relentless pulse. Room 214 was at the end of the hall, its door slightly misaligned, as if it had been kicked one too many times. Amara swiped her keycard, and the lock clicked with a grudging beep. She stepped inside and froze. The room was a punishment in every sense. The carpet was stained with unidentifiable splotches. The air conditioner rattled like a dying engine. And the single window offered a view of the hotel's loading dock, where delivery trucks idled, belching exhaust. The bed sagged visibly, and the fluorescent light flickered, casting a sickly glow. This wasn't a standard room. It was a message. Amara set her suitcase down and pulled out her phone, snapping photos of the stains, the broken fixtures, the view. She sent them to Nathan with a voice note. This is what $900 a night gets you at Sterling when you're the wrong kind of guest. She called the front desk, her voice professional but firm. This is Lila Thompson in room 214. There are maintenance issues I need to report. A new voice answered, younger and less polished than Claire's. Oh, hi, Miss Thompson. This is Jasmine Carter. What's the problem? Amara listed the issues. The flickering light, the stained carpet, the broken air conditioner, the noise from the elevators. She spoke calmly, giving the hotel every chance to rectify the situation. There was a pause, and Amara heard Jasmine's genuine concern. I'm so sorry about this. Let me check for other rooms. Another pause, then muffled voices in the background. When Jasmine returned, her tone had shifted, as if someone had coached her. I'm sorry, Miss Thompson, but that's all we have for Your type of booking. Maintenance will address the issues when they can. Amara's blood ran cold. My type of booking? Oh, I mean online reservations, discount bookings? Jasmine stammered, but the hesitation betrayed her. Amara knew exactly what type she meant. She thanked Jasmine and hung up, her mind racing. This wasn't just Daniel or Claire. It was a culture, a system embedded in the hotel's operations. She stepped into the hallway, her phone still recording, and caught snippets of conversation from two housekeeping staff pushing carts nearby. Did you see the drama in the lobby? One said, chuckling. Another one thinking she could get the VIP suite. Whitaker shut that down fast. But Donovan slipped him a few hundreds, the other replied. Keeps the riffraff out. Amara's grip on her phone tightened. She recorded every word, sending the audio to Michelle Nguyen, her lead attorney, with a note. Asterisk staff openly discussing bribes to exclude guests. This is systemic. Michelle's reply was swift. Keep gathering evidence. This is a Title II violation. Under the Civil Rights Act, we're building a case. Asterisk Amara decided to test the hotel's amenities, curious to see how far the discrimination extended. She changed into a simple swimsuit and headed to the rooftop pool, where glass walls offered a panoramic view of Chicago's skyline. The attendant, a young man named Ryan, looked her up and down as she approached. "Can I help you?" he asked, his tone suggesting she was in the wrong place. "I'm a guest. Room 214, Amara said, showing her key card. "I'd like to use the pool." Ryan examined the card longer than necessary. "Pool closes in 20 minutes, he said curtly, though the posted hours showed was open for another 3 hours. "And you'll need to shower first. Health regulations." Amara glanced around. White guests were entering the pool area without scrutiny, their key cards unchecked, their presence unquestioned. "Health regulations apply to everyone, I assume?" she asked, her voice laced with quiet challenge. Ryan shifted uncomfortably. "Just doing my job, ma'am." Amara showered as requested, then swam for 10 minutes before Ryan reappeared, tapping his watch. "Time's up." She nodded, drying off and snapping discreet photos of the pool area, noting the disparity in treatment. She sent them to Nathan. Asterisk pool attendant enforces selective rules. More evidence. Asterisk next. She tried the hotel's signature restaurant, the Sterling Grill, where she'd made a reservation under her alias. The hostess, a woman with a tight smile, led her to a table next to the kitchen doors, despite the dining room being half empty. "This is all we have for walk-ins," she said. "I have a reservation," Amara replied, showing her confirmation email. "Lila Thompson, 6:30 p.m. The hostess's smile didn't waver. "Must be a mix-up. This is the only table available." Amara sat, her phone recording the clatter of dishes and the hostess's dismissive tone. When she requested a different table, the hostess claimed they were reserved for priority guests. Amara photographed the empty tables and sent the images to her board. Asterisk restaurant seating based on appearance. Pattern continues. Asterisk, back in room 214, Amara sat on the sagging bed, reviewing her evidence. The room's noise elevators groaning. Trucks rumbling outside made sleep impossible, but she didn't care. She was building a case that would dismantle Sterling's toxic culture. Her phone buzzed with a video call from Margaret Coleman. Amara answered, angling her camera to show the room's dismal state. $900 for this? Margaret's voice was icy. "This isn't just bad service, Amara. It's deliberate." "It's worse than we thought," Amara said, sharing her recordings and photos. Bribes, selective rule enforcement, staff openly mocking guests. It's not just a few bad apples. It's the whole tree. David Larson, the legal counsel, chimed in. You've got enough for a federal discrimination lawsuit already. Title II prohibits this kind of bias in public accommodations. We can file tomorrow. Not yet, Amara said firmly. I want it airtight. I need more every angle, every employee involved. Give me a week. Margaret nodded, though her eyes were wary. This is going to be a media firestorm when it breaks. Are you ready for that? I'm counting on it, Amara replied. I want every hotel in America to see what happens when you let discrimination fester. As the call ended, Amara heard a soft knock at her door. She tensed, checking the peephole. A young black woman in a sterling uniform stood outside, looking nervous. Amara opened the door a crack. Can I help you, Miss Thompson? The woman whispered. I'm Jasmine Carter, from the front desk. I need to talk to you about what happened earlier. Amara studied her face, seeing genuine distress. Come in, she said, stepping aside. Jasmine glanced down the hall before entering, her hands twisting together. I'm sorry about your room, about everything. What they're doing, it's not right. I've seen it before, too many times. How often does this happen? Amara asked, keeping her voice neutral but encouraging. Jasmine hesitated, then spoke in a rush. All the time, Mr. Donovan. Other big spenders. They pay management to keep certain guests out of the good rooms, the pool, the lounge. They call it maintaining standards, but we all know what it means. I've complained to corporate, but nothing changes. Amara's heart raced. This was the confirmation she needed, proof from inside. Why are you telling me this, Jasmine? Because I saw how they treated you, Jasmine said, her voice breaking. It's not fair. I've been here 2 years, and I keep hoping it'll get better, but it doesn't. Amara placed a hand on Jasmine's shoulder. Thank you for your honesty. It means more than you know. As Jasmine left, Amara sent a text to Michelle. Asterisk, insider confirmation of systemic discrimination. Protect this employee. She's a witness. Asterisk, she leaned against the door, the room's noise fading into the background. Jasmine was a glimmer of hope in this cesspool of bias, but the fight was far from over. Tomorrow, Amara would push deeper, testing the executive lounge and confronting Daniel Whitaker directly. Every step brought her closer to the reckoning she'd planned. The morning sun filtered through the grimy window of room 214, casting a harsh light on the stained carpet and flickering fluorescent bulb. Amara Jenkins hadn't slept. The relentless groan of service elevators and the rumble of delivery trucks outside had kept her awake, but it wasn't the noise that fueled her restlessness. It was the fire in her chest. Every discriminatory slight, from the stolen VIP suite to the punishment room, was a piece of a larger puzzle she was assembling. Today, she'd test the Sterling Hotel's Elite's executive lounge, an exclusive amenity included in her original booking. If the pattern held, it would be another battlefield, and Amara was ready to document every blow. She dressed in another modest outfit, a navy blazer, white blouse, and black slacks, deliberately understated to blend in as Lila Thompson, her alias. Her phone, fully charged and set to record, sat in her blazer pocket. Before leaving, she reviewed her evidence. Photos of room 214's dismal state, recordings of staff mocking guests, Jasmine Carter's insider testimony about systemic bias. She sent a quick update to her board. Asterisk, heading to the executive lounge. Expecting resistance. Keep legal on standby. Margaret Coleman's reply was immediate. Stay sharp. Amara, we're watching. Asterisk. The elevator ride to the 15th floor was silent, save for the soft hum of the cables. As the doors opened, laughter and the clink of glassware spilled out from the executive lounge, a luxurious space with floor-to-ceiling windows showcasing Chicago's skyline. Amara approached the entrance, where a staff member in a crisp uniform stood like a gatekeeper. His name tag read, Ethan. She held up her phone, displaying her VIP suite confirmation email. "Good morning," she said, her voice polite but firm. "I'm Lila Thompson. I have executive lounge access with my booking." Ethan barely glanced at the screen, his eyes assessing her appearance, her off-the-rack blazer, her lack of designer accessories. "I'm sorry, ma'am, but this area is for VIP guests only," he said, his tone clipped. "I am a VIP guest," Amara replied, keeping her composure. "Here's my confirmation, showing lounge access is included." Ethan shifted, glancing over his shoulder toward the lounge. "I'll need to check with management," he said, his discomfort palpable. Before Amara could respond, a familiar voice boomed from inside Charles Donovan, the man who'd bribed his way into her suite. She stepped slightly to the side, catching sight of him at a prime table by the windows, a lavish breakfast spread. Before him, his third mimosa glinting in the sunlight. He was holding court with two other men in suits, their laughter loud and entitled. "Is that Mr. Donovan?" Amara asked, her voice low but pointed. Ethan's demeanor changed at the name, his posture straightening. "Mr. Donovan is one of our most valued guests. He has permanent lounge privileges. And I have privileges I paid for," Amara countered. "So why am I being denied entry?" Before Ethan could answer, two security guards appeared in the hallway, the same ones from the lobby confrontation 2 days ago. Amara's pulse quickened. She hadn't called for security, which meant someone had been tracking her movements. The first guard, a tall man with a military bearing, stepped forward. "Ma'am, you need to step away from the lounge entrance." Amara held up her phone, the confirmation email still visible. "I have legitimate access. Why am I being treated like a trespasser?" The second guard, shorter but broader, spoke up. "Mr. Donovan requested no disturbances during his breakfast meeting." Amara's voice carried a dangerous calm. "So one guest can ban another from amenities they paid for. We're keeping our VIP guests comfortable," Ethan said weakly. Avoiding her gaze, Amara's eyes flicked to the lounge, where Donovan had noticed the commotion. He turned, spotting her, and his face broke into a satisfied smirk. He raised his mimosa in a mock toast, clearly relishing her exclusion. The optics were damning. A black woman surrounded by security, denied access to a space she'd paid for, while a white executive gloated. Amara's phone captured it all. Ethan's evasion, the guard's intimidation, Donovan's arrogance. "I need to make a call," she said, stepping to a quiet corner of the hallway, far enough to speak privately, but close enough for Donovan to see her through the lounge's glass walls. She dialed the secure conference line for Jenkins Horizon Group's boardroom. "Emergency meeting now," she told Margaret Coleman when she answered Dot within 2 minutes. Her key team was on the call: Margaret, Nathan Brooks, Michelle Nguyen, and David Larson. "What's happening, Amara?" Margaret's voice was tense. "It's worse than we thought," Amara said, her tone clipped but resolute. She summarized the lounge incident, Donovan's influence, and the security guard's preemptive arrival. "They're not just denying me access. They're letting one guest dictate who gets to use paid amenities. This is a civil rights violation, plain and simple," David Larson spoke up. "You're right. This violates Title II of the Civil Rights Act of 1964. Public accommodations can't discriminate based on race. We've got enough for a lawsuit now." "I want more than a lawsuit," Amara said, her voice cold with determination. "I want their entire system exposed. Activate. Plan B. I need the board here by week's end." Margaret's voice was cautious. "Once we go public, there's no turning back. The media will swarm, and Sterling's leadership will fight dirty." "Good," Amara replied. "Let them try. I want this to be a warning to every hotel in America." Nathan chimed in. "I can have the transition team ready by Friday noon. Management, legal docs, everything." Should I start the media prep? Do it, Amara ordered. And Nathan, revoke Donovan's platinum status and draft a lifetime ban from all Jenkins Horizon properties. He's done buying his way into discrimination. Consider it done, Nathan said. A note of satisfaction in his voice died as the call ended. Amara glanced back at the lounge. Donovan's smirk faltered slightly as their eyes met through the glass. He had no idea the woman he was taunting owned the building he sat in, but Amara wasn't ready to reveal that yet. She needed more evidence, enough to bury Sterling's. Toxic culture for good. Back in room 214, Amara sat at the rickety desk, reviewing her recordings. Her phone buzzed with a text from Nathan. Check X, it's starting. She opened the app and froze. A grainy video, posted by an anonymous guest, showed the lobby confrontation from 2 days ago. Amara at the front desk, Daniel Whitaker threatening security, Donovan sliding cash across the counter. The caption read, Asterisk, is this how it's Sterling Hotels? Treats guests? Hashtag, discrimination hashtag Chicago asterisk. The post had 12,000 views and counting, with comments ranging from outrage to defense of the hotel's standards. One user wrote, Asterisk, this happens all the time. Hotels prioritize big spenders over regular people. Another, looks like she's causing trouble. Hotels have a right to choose their guests. Asterisk, Amara's stomach churned. The video was a double-edged sword, proof of her mistreatment, but also a risk of public misinterpretation. She forwarded it to Michelle with a note. Asterisk, monitor this. We may need to control the narrative. Michelle replied, already on it. PR team is drafting a response for when you go public. Stay focused. Asterisk. The social media fallout wasn't unexpected, but it added pressure. Amara knew that by week's end, when she revealed her identity, this story would explode. She needed her evidence to be ironclad to counter any attempts to paint her as a disruptive guest. She decided to confront Daniel Whitaker directly, testing his response to her growing documentation. She found him in the lobby, schmoozing with a group of potential corporate clients. His tailored suit and practiced smile made him look every inch the professional manager, but Amara saw the predator beneath. She approached, her phone discreetly recording. Mr. Whitaker, I'd like to discuss my treatment at this hotel. Daniel's smile stiffened, but he excused himself from the group. Miss Thompson, I hope you're finding room 214 satisfactory, he said, his tone laced with mockery. You mean the room with stained carpets and broken air conditioning, next to the service elevators that I'm paying $900 a night for? Amara replied, her voice calm but cutting. Daniel's eyes narrowed. I'm sorry you're not fully satisfied, but operational needs sometimes require adjustments. Adjustments like denying black guests access to paid amenities while letting white guests use facilities they haven't reserved. Amara asked, watching his reaction. Daniel glanced around, clearly unnerved by her directness. You're misinterpreting our customer service policies, ma'am. Am I? Amara held up her phone, showing a still from her recording of the housekeeping staff discussing Donovan's bribes. Your employees are on record talking about how Mr. Donovan pays to keep certain guests out of good rooms. Daniel's face paled, but he recovered quickly. That's taken out of context. We prioritize loyal, high-spending guests. It's not discrimination, it's business. So, discrimination is just business? Amara pressed, ensuring her. Phone captured every word. Daniel's composure cracked. This conversation is over, Miss Thompson. If you continue making accusations, I'll have you removed from the property. Before Amara could respond, a black family, 2 parents, and a young girl in a bright pink backpack approached the front desk, their faces lit with excitement. Amara stepped back, watching as Claire began the same routine, questioning their reservation, suggesting more suitable accommodations. The father's smile faded as Claire offered 2 separate rooms instead of their booked family suite. Amara's heart clenched. This wasn't just her fight anymore. She approached the father quietly. "Excuse me, what room did you book?" "The family suite, 8th floor," he said, confused. "But they're saying it's unavailable." Amara handed him a plain business card with her personal contact. "Info. Document everything, every conversation, every change. Call this number tomorrow." Daniel appeared beside her, his voice sharp. "Miss Thompson, stop interfering with our guests." "I'm advising them of their rights," Amara said evenly. "Unless you'd like me to advise them about your bribe system, too." Daniel's face reddened. "You're treading on thin ice, ma'am." Amara walked away, her phone still recording. She knew Daniel's threat was empty. He had no idea who she was, but it was another piece of evidence. As she reached the elevator, Jasmine Carter caught up to her, looking frantic. "Miss Thompson, I heard what happened at the lounge. It's not right." Amara studied her. "Jasmine, how deep does this go?" Jasmine glanced around, then whispered, "Deeper than you think. Donovan's not the only one. There's a group of platinum members who pay for priority treatment. Management logs it as service fees, but it's bribes to keep certain guests out." Amara's mind raced. "Do you have proof?" "Not yet," Jasmine admitted. "But I know where to look. I'm scared of losing my job." "You won't," Amara said firmly. "Keep your eyes open and stay safe." As Jasmine hurried away, Amara texted Michelle. Asterisk Insider reports multiple platinum members involved in bribe system. Need forensic audit of Sterling's financials. Asterisk, the net was tightening, but Amara knew the real storm was coming. Amara Jenkins sat at the wobbly desk in room 214, the Sterling Hotel's elite's punishment room, her phone screen casting a soft glow in the dim, flickering light. The constant drone of service elevators outside her window was a reminder of the elitist hotel's deliberate slight, but it only sharpened her focus. 4 days into her undercover investigation, she had amassed a damning collection of evidence. Recordings of staff accepting bribes, photos of her substandard room, testimony from Jasmine Carter about a systemic priority treatment scheme for wealthy guests like Charles Donovan. Yet Amara knew she needed more, something irrefutable, to expose the rot at Sterling's core. Today, she would push further, confronting Donovan directly and digging into the hotel's financial records. The storm was coming, and she was ready to steer it. Her phone buzzed with a text from Nathan Brooks, her executive assistant. Asterisk X is blowing up. Videos at 50,000 views. Check the latest. Amara opened the X app, her stomach tightening as she scrolled. The grainy video of her lobby confrontation with Daniel Whitaker and Donovan had gone viral, now captioned, Asterisk Sterling Hotels caught in the act? Hashtag Justice for Guests, hashtag Chicago Discrimination asterisk. Comments ranged from fury. "This is why I stopped staying at Sterling. Racist trash." To skepticism. "She's probably exaggerating for clout." A new post linked the incident to a recent 2024 lawsuit against a major hotel chain, where a black couple won $10 million after being denied service at a luxury resort. The hashtag hotel bias was trending, amplifying the pressure on Sterling. Amara forwarded the post to Michelle Nguyen, her lead attorney. Asterisk Media's catching on. Prep for damage control when we go public. Michelle's reply was swift. PR team's drafting statements. Forensic audit of Sterling's books starts tomorrow. Keep pushing. Asterisk, Amara nodded to herself. The social media firestorm was a risk, but it was also leverage. If she could tie Donovan's bribes to Sterling's financials, the case would be airtight. Dressed in another modest outfit, gray slacks, a cream sweater, simple flats, and headed to the lobby, her phone set to record. Her plan was twofold. confront Donovan to provoke a reaction, and meet Jasmine Carter, who'd hinted at accessing financial logs that could prove the bribe system. As the elevator descended, Amara steeled herself. Donovan wasn't just a guest. He was a symbol of the entitlement Sterling's management enabled. Taking him down would send a message. The lobby was busier than usual. A mix of business travelers and tourists snapping photos of the crystal chandeliers. Amara spotted Donovan near the concierge desk, his tailored suit and platinum watch unmistakable. He was laughing with a young concierge, a stack of brochures in hand, exuding the confidence of a man who owned the room. She approached, her voice calm but deliberate. "Mr. Donovan, a word?" Donovan turned, his smile fading as he recognized her. "You again," he said, his tone dripping with disdain. "What's it now? Still upset about your little room mix-up?" "No mix-up," Amara replied, holding his gaze. "You bribed the staff to take my VIP suite. I have it recorded." The concierge froze, brochures slipping from his hands, but Donovan's expression didn't waver. "Careful with accusations, lady. I'm a platinum member. I get what I pay for." "You paid for discrimination," Amara said, her voice steady. "You slid cash across the counter to ensure I was pushed out. That's not business, it's illegal." Donovan's eyes narrowed, but a smirk curled his lips. "You've got no proof. And even if you did, who's going to care? This is how the world works. People like me keep places like this running." Amara's phone captured every word, but she pushed further. "People like you? You mean guests who pay to exclude others based on race?" Donovan's smirk vanished, replaced by a flash of anger. "You're out of your depth. I've got friends in high places, management, corporate, even City Hall. Keep pushing, and you'll regret it." Before Amara could respond, Daniel Whitaker appeared, his face tight with alarm. "Ms. Thompson, you're disrupting our guests again. I suggest you leave Mr. Donovan alone." "I'm discussing my treatment," Amara said, turning to Whitaker. "Or do you only protect guests who bribe you?" Whitaker's jaw clenched. "That's enough. One more word, and I'm calling security." Amara stepped back, her point made. Donovan's threat and Whitaker's defensiveness were more evidence for her growing case. As she walked away, she noticed a young couple in the lobby filming her. With their phones, their expressions a mix of curiosity and sympathy. She sent a quick text to Nathan. "Asterisk guests are recording. Expect more ex post. Asterisk." The public's attention was a double-edged sword, but Amara knew how to wield it. In the employee cafeteria, hidden behind the kitchen, Amara met Jasmine Carter during her break. The room smelled of stale coffee and bleach, a stark contrast to the lobby's opulence. Jasmine sat at a corner table, her sterling uniform slightly wrinkled, her eyes darting nervously. "Miss Thompson, I shouldn't be here," she whispered. "If Whitaker finds out I'm talking to you—" "He won't," Amara assured her, sitting across from her. "What did you find?" Jasmine slid a folded piece of paper across the table. "It's a printout from the booking system. Look at the service fees column for platinum members like Donovan. They're coded as priority adjustments, but they're not standard charges. They're bribes, logged as miscellaneous income." Amara unfolded the paper, her eyes scanning the numbers. Donovan's account showed $2,500 in service fees over the past month, far exceeding typical charges. Other platinum members had similar entries, totaling tens of thousands. "This is huge, Jasmine," Amara said, her voice low. "How did you get this?" "I've got access to the front desk system," Jasmine said. "But it's risky. Whitaker monitors logins. If he sees I printed this, you're protected," Amara said firmly. "I'll make sure of it." "Can you get more anything showing where the money goes?" Jasmine nodded, though her hands trembled. "There's a ledger in Whitaker's office. I've seen him updated after Donovan's visits. I'll try, but I need time." "Take it," Amara said. "And Jasmine, thank you. You're doing the right thing." As Jasmine slipped back to her shift, Amara photographed the printout and sent it to Michelle Nguyen. Asterisk financial evidence of bribes. Need audit to trace funds. Michelle's reply was immediate. This is gold. Audit teams ready to dig. Keep Jasmine safe. She's a key witness. Asterisk back in room 214, Amara reviewed the X-posts. The viral video now had 80,000 views, and a new clip had surfaced, showing her confrontation with Donovan in the lobby. The caption read, Asterisk Sterling Hotel's guest calls out VIP for bribery. Hashtag hotel bias, hashtag justice asterisk. Comments were polarized. Some praised her courage. Others accused her of playing the race card. One post referenced the 2024 lawsuit against coastal resorts, where leaked emails proved managers targeted minority guests for inferior rooms. The parallels were uncanny, and Amara knew Sterling's leadership would be scrambling. Her phone buzzed with a video call from Margaret Coleman. Amara answered, showing the room's dismal state. The X-posts are escalating, Margaret said, her voice grim. We're seeing mentions in local news. This could break nationally by tomorrow. Good, Amara said. Let it build. I've got financial evidence, now bribes logged as service fees. Jasmine's risking her job to help. David Larson joined the call. Those fees are a smoking gun. If we can prove they're bribes, it's not just a civil rights violation, it's tax fraud. The IRS will tear Sterling apart. I want it all exposed, Amara said. But I need 2 more days. I'm meeting a whistleblower tomorrow, someone from housekeeping who's seen Whitaker's ledger. Margaret's eyes narrowed. You're playing a dangerous game, Amara. Donovan's connected. If he suspects you're more than a guest, he won't, Amara said, though a flicker of doubt crossed her mind. Donovan's mention of friends in high places wasn't empty bravado. She needed to move carefully. As the call ended, Amara heard voices outside her door, housekeeping staff, their tone mocking. That lady in 214's still complaining, one said. Thinks she's getting a suite. Donovan's got this place locked down. Amara recorded it, her resolve hardening. She texted the black family she'd met yesterday, checking on their situation. The father replied, Asterisk, they moved us to a worse room, documenting everything like you said. Thanks for the card. Asterisk. Amara's heart ached, but it fueled her. This wasn't just her fight, it was theirs too. She stepped onto her balcony, the loading dock below, a grim reminder of Sterling's disdain. Chicago's skyline glittered in the distance, a city of promise and struggle. Amara knew the next 2 days would test her limits, but she was ready. Donovan, Whitaker, and their system of bias were about to face a reckoning they couldn't bribe their way out of. The air in room 214 was stale, the broken air conditioner wheezing like a tired beast. Amara Jenkins sat on the edge of the sagging bed, her phone glowing with the latest X-posts. The viral video of her lobby confrontation with Daniel Whitaker and Charles Donovan had surged past 150,000 views, sparking heated debates under hashtags like hashtag hotel bias and hashtag justice for guests. A local Chicago news outlet had picked up the story, linking it to the 2024 Coastal Resorts lawsuit, where a black couple's $10 million victory exposed systemic discrimination in the hospitality industry. Comments on X range from calls for boycotts, never staying at Sterling again, to defenses of the hotel's right to prioritize VIPs. Amara knew the tide was turning, but public opinion was fickle. She needed undeniable evidence to ensure Sterling's leadership couldn't spin the narrative. Her phone buzzed with a text from Jasmine Carter, the young front desk clerk who'd risked her job to provide a printout of suspicious service fees. Asterisk housekeeping contact is Maria Alvarez. She'll meet you at 10 a.m. in the service corridor. Level B1. Be careful, Whitaker's watching everyone. Asterisk Amara's pulse quickened. Maria, a veteran housekeeper, had seen Daniel Whitaker's private ledger, where bribes from platinum members like Donovan were allegedly logged. If Amara could secure that ledger, it would be the key to dismantling Sterling's corrupt system. She dressed in a simple black skirt and blouse, her alias Lila Thompson's unassuming wardrobe, and tucked her phone into her pocket, set to record. Before leaving, she sent a text to Michelle Millian, her lead attorney. Asterisk meeting Whistleblower today. Expecting ledger evidence. Prep for immediate action. Michelle's reply was swift. Forensic audits underway. If you get that ledger, we've got tax fraud and Title II violations locked. Stay safe. Asterisk Amara took the service elevator to level B1, a dimly lit corridor smelling of bleach and laundry detergent. Maria Alvarez, a wiry woman in her 50s with tired eyes and a Sterling uniform, waited near a stack of cleaning supplies. Her hands fidgeted, betraying her nerves. "Miss Thompson?" she whispered, glancing over her shoulder. "Jasmine said you're looking into things." "I am," Amara said, keeping her voice low. "She said you've seen Whitaker's ledger. Can you tell me about it?" Maria hesitated, then nodded. "I've been here 15 years. I clean Whitaker's office sometimes. He keeps a black notebook in his desk locked drawer, but I've seen him writing in it after Donovan's visits. It's got names, dates, amounts. He calls it client incentives, but it's payoffs to give certain guests better rooms, better service." Amara's heart raced. "Can you get me that notebook?" Maria's eyes widened. "It's risky. Whitaker checks that drawer every day. If he catches me—" "You won't be alone," Amara said firmly. "I'll protect you." "Can you try?" Maria swallowed hard, then nodded. "I'll do it tonight when he's at the corporate dinner. But you've got to move fast. Whitaker's paranoid since that X video went viral." Amara handed Maria a burner phone with her direct number. "Text me when you have it. And Maria, thank you. This matters." As Maria slipped back to her duties, Amara felt the weight of the moment. The ledger could be the final nail in Sterling's coffin, but the risk to Maria was real. She sent a text to Nathan Brooks. Asterisk housekeepers getting ledger tonight. Prep security team to extract her if needed. Nathan's reply was immediate. On it. Transition teams ready for Friday. Asterisk. Back in the lobby, Amara's next move was to confront Sterling's general manager, Richard Bennett, a figure she'd yet to meet but whose name appeared in Jasmine's reports as complicit in the bribe system. She approached the front desk, where Claire, the receptionist, was typing furiously, her eyes darting nervously. The viral X posts had clearly rattled the staff. "I'd like to speak to Mr. Bennett," Amara said, her tone professional but unyielding. Claire's fake smile appeared. "He's unavailable, ma'am. Can I take a message?" "It's urgent," Amara pressed. "I'm a guest who's been denied my paid reservation and threatened with security for objecting. I want to speak to the manager now." Claire hesitated, then picked up the phone. Minutes later, Richard Bennett emerged from a side office. A man in his late 40s with slicked back hair and a polished suit. His smile was practiced, but his eyes were wary. "Miss Thompson, I understand there's been a misunderstanding. How can I assist?" Amara held up her phone, showing her VIP suite confirmation. "This isn't a misunderstanding. My $900 a night suite was given to another guest via bribe. I was moved to a room next to the service elevators, denied pool access, and blocked from the executive lounge, all despite my confirmed booking. I want an explanation." Bennett's smile tightened. "I'm sorry for any inconvenience, but our staff prioritizes guest satisfaction based on operational needs." "Operational needs?" Amara's voice was sharp. Is that what you call letting platinum members like Charles Donovan pay to exclude black guests from amenities they've paid for? Bennett's face paled, but he recovered quickly. Those are serious accusations, Miss Thompson. Our policies are designed to ensure all guests are treated fairly. Then, why are your staff on record discussing Donovan's bribes? Amara asked, holding up her phone with a still from the housekeeping conversation. And why is my room a health hazard while Donovan dines in the lounge I paid to access? Bennett's eyes flicked to the phone, then back to her. You're recording without consent, he said, his voice low. That's a violation of our privacy policies. It's illegal in a public space, Amara countered. And what's illegal is discriminating against guests based on race. Title II of the Civil Rights Act is clear on that. Bennett's composure cracked. Ms. Thompson, if you continue disrupting operations, I'll have no choice but to have you removed. Amara leaned in, her voice steady. Try it, but know this. Every word you're saying is being documented, and the world is watching. As she walked away, she noticed guests in the lobby filming again, their phones trained on her and Bennett. The X-storm was growing, and Amara knew it was only a matter of time before it broke wide open. That evening, Amara was in room 214 when Nathan texted, *emergency. Check X now. She opened the app and froze. A new post from an account called at Hotel Truth 225 had leaked an internal Sterling memo dated 3 months ago. It instructed managers to prioritize high-value clients and reallocate resources as needed to maintain clientele standards. The language was coded, but the intent was clear. Discriminate to keep wealthy guests happy. The post had 200,000 views, with comments exploding. This is proof Sterling's racist. Boycott Sterling now. Amara forwarded the memo to Michelle. Trace this leak. It's our ace, Michelle replied, working on it. Looks like an inside job, maybe Jasmine or another staffer. Media's calling. We need to strategize. Amara called Margaret Coleman for an emergency video conference. The boardroom feed showed Margaret, Nathan, Michelle, and David Larson, their faces grim. This memo changes everything, Margaret said. It's direct evidence of systemic bias. Combined with your recordings and the ledger, we can shut Sterling down. We're not shutting it down, Amara said. We're rebuilding it. But first, we need that ledger. Maria's getting it tonight. David spoke up. The memo strengthens our Title II case, and the service fees could trigger an IRS investigation. But Donovan's connections worry me. He mentioned Citi. Hall could be political blowback. I'll handle Donovan, Amara said. Get the transition team ready. We move in 2 days. As the call ended, Amara's burner phone buzzed. Maria's text. Got the ledger. Meet me at B1, midnight. Amara's heart pounded. The final piece was falling into place, but the risk was higher than ever. She texted Nathan. Send security to B1 at 11:50 p.m. Maria's in danger. At midnight, Amara slipped into the service corridor, her phone recording. Maria emerged from the shadows, clutching a black notebook. This is it, she whispered, her voice trembling. Donovan's payments, others too. Whitaker longs everything. Amara took the ledger, flipping through pages of handwritten entries. Donovan. $2,500. The 3rd of July 25, VIP suite priority. Clarkson, $1,800. The 5th of July 25, lounge access. Her blood boiled. You're incredible, Maria. Get out of here. Security's waiting to escort you. As Maria disappeared, Amara heard footsteps. She turned to see Daniel Whitaker, his face contorted. With rage. What the hell are you doing down here, Thompson? Amara clutched the ledger, her phone still recording. The storm was about to break. The service corridor on Level B, one of the Sterling Hotel's elite, was a labyrinth of concrete and fluorescent lights, the air thick with the scent of bleach and damp laundry. Amara Jenkins stood frozen, clutching the black ledger Maria Alvarez had just handed her, its pages filled with handwritten proof of Charles Donovan's bribes and Sterling's systemic corruption. Her phone, discreetly recording in her pocket, captured the rapid thud of her heartbeat as Daniel Whitaker's voice cut through the silence like a blade. "What the hell are you doing down here, Thompson?" Whitaker's face was a mask of fury, his eyes darting to the ledger in Amara's hands. The dim light cast harsh shadows across his features, making him look more predator than manager. Amara's mind raced. Maria had slipped away moments ago, escorted by a Jenkins Horizon security team member Nathan Brooks had sent. But Amara was alone now, cornered in a basement corridor with a man who'd already threatened to have her removed. She tightened her grip on the ledger, her voice steady despite the adrenaline flooding her veins. "I'm a guest, Mr. Whitaker. Just exploring the hotel." "Don't play games with me," Whitaker snapped, stepping closer. "That's my ledger. Hand it over, or I'll have security drag you out of here." Amara took a step back, her shoulder brushing against a stack of cleaning supplies. "This ledger?" she said, holding it up just out of his reach. "The one documenting bribes from Charles Donovan and other Platinum members to exclude guests like me. I think corporate might want to see this." Whitaker's face paled, but his eyes burned with desperation. "You have no idea who you're messing with. Give it to me now." Amara's phone buzzed in her pocket, likely Nathan or Maria confirming her safety, but she couldn't check it. She needed to get out of this corridor. "I'm keeping it," she said, her tone firm. "And I'm advising you to step back. This is bigger than you think." Whitaker lunged for the ledger, but Amara was faster. She sidestepped, slipping past a laundry cart and sprinting toward the service elevator. Her flat slapped against the concrete as Whitaker's footsteps echoed behind her. "Stop her," he shouted, his voice bouncing off the walls. Amara reached the elevator just as the doors began to close, sliding inside and jabbing the button for the lobby. As the doors sealed shut, she caught a glimpse of Whitaker's furious face, his fist pounding the metal. Her heart pounded as she clutched the ledger, its weight a tangible promise of justice. She texted Nathan. "Asterisk got the ledger. Whitaker's after me. Security on standby?" Nathan's reply was instant. "Asterisk teams in position. Get to the lobby. We're extracting you if needed." Asterisk the elevator opened to the bustling lobby, where guests milled about, oblivious to the drama unfolding below. Amara slipped into the crowd, tucking the ledger into her bag and scanning for Whitaker or security. Her phone buzzed again, a text from Maria. "Asterisk, I'm safe. Security got me out. Be careful." Asterisk Amara exhaled, relief mixing with resolve. Maria was secure, and the ledger was hers. Now, she needed to protect it until her board arrived tomorrow, back in room 214. Amara locked the door and sat at the rickety desk, the ledger open before her. Its pages were a goldmine, dates, amounts, and names of Platinum members who'd paid thousands to secure priority treatment, with notes like reassign suite to Donovan and restrict lounge access for non-priority guests. The entries spanned months, implicating not just Whitaker, but the general manager, Richard Bennett, and several senior staff. Amara photographed every page, sending the images to Michelle Nguyen with a note. Asterisk ledger confirms bribe system. Multiple managers involved. Need full audit and legal prep for tomorrow. Michelle's response was immediate. "This is dynamite. Audit teams already found discrepancies in Sterling's financials. Your ledger ties it together. IRS will love this." Boards arriving at 7 a.m., Amara leaned back, the flickering light casting shadows across the stained carpet. The evidence was overwhelming, but the stakes were higher than ever. Whitaker's reaction proved he knew the ledger's power, and Donovan's connections to City Hall hinted at deeper resistance. Her phone buzzed with a new X notification. The viral video of her lobby confrontation now had 300,000 views, and the leaked Sterling memo from yesterday was trending nationally under #HotelBias. A Chicago news station, WGN, had posted a story. *Sterling Hotels faces discrimination allegations. After viral video *. The article mentioned the 2024 Coastal Resorts lawsuit, where a whistleblower's testimony led to a $10 million settlement, and speculated that Sterling could face similar scrutiny. A new post caught Amara's eye, a direct message from a WGN reporter. *Ms. Thompson, we're covering the Sterling controversy. Can we interview you about your experience? Amara hesitated. Going public as Lila Thompson could derail her undercover plan, but staying silent risked letting Sterling control the narrative. She forwarded the message to Margaret Coleman. *Media wants an interview. Advice? Margaret called immediately, her face stern on the video feed. This is a tipping point. Amara, if you talk now, you blow your cover. But if you don't, Sterling might spin this as an isolated incident. I'm not ready to reveal myself, Amara said. But we can leak more. Send WG and an anonymous tip with the ledger's key pages. Redact my name and Maria's. David Larson joined the call. Smart. An anonymous leak keeps the pressure on without exposing you. But Donovan's connections worry me. My sources say he's tied to a Chicago alderman. If he gets wind of this, he'll push back hard, maybe even legally. Then we move faster, Amara said. The board's here tomorrow. I want termination papers for Whitaker, Bennett, and anyone named in the ledger. And David, draft day. Federal lawsuit under Title II and a tax fraud complaint for the IRS. Already in progress, David replied. We've got enough for a class action if other guests come forward, like that family you helped. Amara nodded, thinking of the black family with the young girl in the pink backpack. She'd texted the father earlier, urging him to document his mistreatment. His reply confirmed that they'd been moved to a noisy room near the service stairs, despite booking a family suite. Amara texted him. * keep recording. Call me tomorrow morning. You're not alone. * that evening, Amara ventured to the hotel's rooftop bar, a sleek space with twinkling lights and a view of Lake Michigan. She wanted to test one last amenity, expecting more resistance. The bartender, a young man named Lucas, glanced at her key card and frowned. This area's reserved for VIPs tonight, he said, though the bar was half empty. My booking includes rooftop access, Amara said, showing her confirmation email. Check it. Lucas hesitated, then waved her through, but his reluctance was palpable. Amara ordered a sparkling water and sat near the edge, her phone recording. She overheard two staff members nearby, their voices low but audible. Whitaker's freaking out, one said. That guest in 214's stirring trouble. Did you see the X posts? Yeah, the other replied. Bennett's calling corporate. They're blaming us for the leak. Amara's lips twitched. The memo leak was shaking Sterling's leadership, and her ledger would be the knockout punch. She sent the audio to Michelle. * staff discussing memo leak. Panic setting in. * as she sipped her drink, she noticed Charles Donovan enter the bar, flanked by two men in suits. His eyes locked on her, his smirk returning. He approached, his voice loud enough for nearby guests to hear. Still causing problems, Miss Thompson? Maybe you should stick to budget motels. Amara met his gaze, unfazed. Maybe you should stick to hotels that don't take your bribes. Donovan's face reddened, but he leaned in, lowering his voice. "You're digging your own grave. I know people who can make your life hell." "Try it," Amara said, her voice ice cold. "But you might want to check X first. The world's watching." Donovan's smirk faltered as he pulled out his phone, scrolling through the latest posts. Amara walked away, her heart pounding but her resolve unshaken. She texted Nathan. Donovan's rattled. "Leak the ledger pages to WGN tonight. Redact names. Back." In room 214, Amara prepared for the final day. The board would arrive at 7 a.m., and she'd reveal her identity as Amara Jenkins, CEO of Jenkins Horizon Group. She reviewed her evidence, recordings of Whitaker's threats, Donovan's bribes, staff conversations, photos of her room and restricted amenities, Jasmine's printout, Maria's ledger. It was a fortress of proof. She called Margaret for a final check-in. "Everything's set," Margaret said. "Security's in place, legal's ready, and the transition team's prepped to take over. The WGN leak will hit at midnight." "Good," Amara said. "I want Whitaker and Bennett in the ballroom tomorrow, along with every employee named in the ledger. This ends now." As she hung up, her phone buzzed with a new X post from WGN. Breaking. Leaked Sterling Hotel's ledger shows payments for priority treatment. Is this bribery? #hotel bias *. The post included redacted pages from the ledger, sparking a firestorm of comments. Amara smiled grimly. The countdown had begun. The dawn of July 9th, 2025, broke over Chicago with a golden haze. But in room 214 of the Sterling Hotel's elite, Amara Jenkins felt no warmth. The flickering fluorescent light and the relentless hum of service elevators had kept her awake, but her exhaustion was overshadowed by a steely resolve. Today was the day. After 6 days of enduring discrimination, gathering evidence, and orchestrating a silent takeover, she would reveal her true identity as the CEO of Jenkins Horizon Group, the new owner of Sterling Hotels. The black ledger, safely tucked in her bag, was her trump card proof of a bribe system that implicated Daniel Whitaker, Richard Bennett, and a network of complicit staff. The X platform was ablaze with 500,000 views on the viral video of her lobby confrontation, and WGN's midnight leak of the ledger's redacted pages had pushed #hotel bias to national trending status. A live news broadcast was scheduled for 10 a.m., and Amara intended to make it unforgettable. Her phone buzzed at 6:47 a.m. with a text from Nathan Brooks. "Boards here. 7 SUVs in position. Security's ready." "Showtime at 8 a.m., Amara replied. "Ballroom setup confirmed? I want Whitaker and Bennett front and center. Nathan's response was immediate. "Done. Media's sniffing WGN, sending a crew. We've got your back." Amara dressed carefully, abandoning her modest Lila Thompson alias for a tailored charcoal suit that radiated authority. She pinned her hair into an elegant updo, her natural curls framing her face like a crown. The ledger, her recordings, and a USB drive with all her evidence were secured in a sleek briefcase. She glanced at the stained carpet of room 214 one last time, a grim reminder of why she was here. This wasn't just about her. It was about the black family denied their suite, the countless guests marginalized by Sterling's corrupt system, and the young staff like Jasmine Carter and Maria Alvarez who dared to speak out. At 7:30 a.m., Amara stepped into the lobby, her presence drawing curious glances from guests and wary looks from staff. The news of the leaked ledger had spread, and the air crackled with tension. She spotted Charles Donovan near the concierge desk, his platinum watch glinting as he barked orders at a nervous employee. His eyes met hers, and his smirk faltered, sensing something had shifted. Amara ignored him, heading for the service entrance, where Margaret Coleman, her board chair, waited with Nathan and 2 security guards. "Everything's in place," Margaret said, her voice steady but fierce. "Michelle's got the lawsuits drafted, Title II, tax fraud, the works. David's coordinating with the IRS. The transition team's ready to take over operations by noon." Amara nodded, handing Margaret the ledger. "This name's Whitaker Bennett and half a dozen others. I want 'em out today." Nathan adjusted his glasses, a rare grin breaking through. "Termination papers are ready. We've got security at every exit to escort them out, and Jasmine and Maria are under protection." "Good," Amara said. "Let's move." At 8 o'clock, the hotel's PA system crackled to life, cutting through the lobby's hum. "All staff, report to the grand ballroom immediately for a mandatory meeting." Employees froze, exchanging confused glances. Daniel Whitaker emerged from his office, his face a mix of irritation and unease. Richard Bennett followed, his polished demeanor fraying. Guests whispered, sensing something big, and a few pulled out phones. Live streaming to X. The grand ballroom was a cavernous space with gold-trimmed walls and a massive chandelier, but the atmosphere was anything but festive. Over 100 employees filed in, from housekeepers to concierges, there. Murmurs filling the room. Amara stood at the back, her briefcase in hand as her board members Margaret, Nathan, Michelle Nguyen, and David Larson positioned themselves strategically around the room. Security guards flanked the exits, their presence subtle but unmistakable. Whitaker and Bennett stood near the stage, unaware of the storm about to break. Michelle took the microphone, her voice commanding. "Ladies and gentlemen, Sterling Hotel's elite has been acquired by Jenkins Horizon Group, effective immediately." The room erupted in shocked whispers, staff exchanging wide-eyed looks. "The new owner is here today to address you." Amara stepped onto the stage, her heels clicking against the polished wood. Every eye locked on her, and a ripple of recognition passed through the crowd. Some remembered her as the problem guest from room 214. Whitaker's face drained of color, and Bennett's jaw tightened. Charles Donovan, who'd slipped into the back of the room, froze, his coffee cup trembling in his hand. "My name is Amara Jenkins," she said, her voice clear and resonant. "I am the founder and CEO of Jenkins Horizon Group, and I now own this hotel and employ every person in this room." The silence was deafening. Whitaker's mouth opened, but no words came. Donovan's cup slipped, shattering on the floor. Amara continued, her gaze sweeping the room. "For 6 days, I experienced this hotel as a guest under the alias Lila Thompson. I booked the VIP suite, paid $900 a night, and was denied it because of a bribe from Mr. Charles Donovan." She held up the ledger, its pages damning. "I was moved to a room unfit for any guest, denied access to amenities I paid for, and threatened with security for objecting, all because of my race." A screen behind her flickered to life, playing security footage. Donovan sliding cash. Across the counter, Whitaker's threats in the lobby, staff mocking riffraff guests. Gasps echoed through the room. Amara's voice grew sharper. "This ledger documents a system of bribes. $2,500 from Donovan alone this month to exclude black guests and others deemed undesirable. This violates Title II of the Civil Rights Act, federal tax laws, and every principle of decency." Margaret stepped forward, holding a stack of termination papers. Daniel Whitaker, Richard Bennett, Ethan from the executive lounge, Lucas from the rooftop bar. Your employment is terminated immediately for participating in discriminatory practices. Security guards moved toward each named employee, who stood stunned. Whitaker sputtered, "You can't do this. I've run this hotel for years." "You've run it into the ground," Amara said, her eyes cold. "Your actions have cost Sterling its reputation and will cost you your career." Bennett tried to protest, but Margaret cut him off. Legal action is pending. Leave now or face arrest. Amara turned to Donovan, who was edging toward the exit. Mr. Donovan, a word. Security blocked his path as Margaret handed him a document. You are permanently banned from all 47 Jenkins Horizon properties nationwide. Your bribes documented. Here on video are evidence in a federal lawsuit. Donovan's face twisted with rage. You'll regret this. I know people, aldermen, lawyers, the mayor's office. You're finished. Amara smiled, unshaken. Check X, Mr. Donovan. Your people can't save you from 500,000 witnesses. As security escorted Donovan out, Amara addressed the remaining staff. This hotel will close for 6 months to reform its operations. Every guest, regardless of race, appearance, or status, will be treated with dignity. Discrimination means immediate termination. She gestured to Jasmine Carter, who stood wide-eyed among the staff. Jasmine Carter, step forward. You're entering our management training program, effective today, for your courage in exposing this corruption. Jasmine's eyes filled with tears as applause broke out, tentative at first, then growing. Maria Alvarez, standing nearby, nodded with quiet pride. Amara continued, This hotel will reopen as a place where everyone is welcome. If you share that vision, you have a future here. If not, leave now. At 10 a.m., WGN's live broadcast. Again outside the hotel, a news van parked amid a crowd of reporters and onlookers. The anchor, a sharp-eyed woman, reported, Sterling Hotel's elite faces a firestorm after a leaked ledger and viral videos expose discriminatory practices. Sources confirmed the hotel's new owner, Amara Jenkins of Jenkins Horizon Group, has fired key staff and banned a prominent guest, Charles Donovan, for bribery. The camera panned to the lobby, where Amara emerged, flanked by her board. Ms. Jenkins, the anchor called. Can you comment on the allegations? Amara faced the camera, her voice steady. For 6 days, I experienced systemic discrimination at this hotel as a black guest. Today, we're ending that. Sterling will be rebuilt to serve every guest equally, or it won't open at all. The broadcast cut to X posts, where #HotelBias now trended globally, with users praising Amara's stand and calling for industry-wide reform. The black family she'd helped watched from their new suite, upgraded at Amara's insistence, their young daughter clutching her pink backpack and smiling. The morning after Amara Jenkins revealed her identity as the CEO of Jenkins Horizon Group, the Sterling Hotel's elite stood silent, its grand lobby eerily empty. The crystal chandeliers still sparkled, but the air was charged with a different energy change was coming. The viral X posts, now surpassing 1 million views, had transformed Amara's confrontation with Daniel Whitaker and Charles Donovan into a national reckoning. The #HotelBias trended globally, with users sharing their own stories of discrimination at hotels across the U.S., many citing the 2024 Coastal Resorts lawsuit that had exposed similar systemic bias. WGN's live broadcast, replayed on every major news outlet, had cemented Amara's stand as a rallying cry for reform. But for Amara, the work was just beginning. Sterling's transformation would be her legacy, a beacon for an industry mired in outdated practices. Amara stood in the hotel's presidential suite, the room she should have occupied a week ago, its floor-to-ceiling windows offering a panoramic view of Chicago's skyline. The plush carpet, marble bathroom, and king-size bed were a stark contrast to room 214's stained floors and flickering lights. She'd moved in after the ballroom meeting, escorted by her board Margaret Coleman, Nathan Brooks, Michelle Nain, and David Larson, who now gathered around a glass conference table in the suite's living area. The black ledger, security footage, and Amara's recordings lay before them, a testament to the corruption they dismantled. We've got a class action lawsuit brewing, Michelle said, her laptop open to a flood of emails from guests. The black family you helped, the Thompsons, filed a formal complaint this morning. They've connected with others via X dozens of guests, mostly minorities. Our EPORTING similar treatment at Sterling properties nationwide. Amara nodded, her eyes on the city below. How many are willing to join the suit? At least 20 so far, David Larson replied. With your evidence, the ledger, recordings, the leaked memo, we're looking at a Title II violation. That could cost Sterling millions. The IRS is already sniffing around the service fees for tax fraud. This could bankrupt their old management structure. Good, Amara said, her voice firm. But we're not here to destroy Sterling. We're rebuilding it. Start outreach to the plaintiffs. Offer them free stays at our properties as a gesture of goodwill. And get me a meeting with the Thompsons. I want their input on the reforms. Nathan adjusted his glasses, scribbling. Notes. The transition team's already moving. We've replaced Whitaker, Bennett, and the others with our best managers. Jasmine Carter's in the management training program, and Maria Alvarez is being promoted to housekeeping supervisor. They're both on board with the new vision. Margaret leaned forward, her silver hair catching the sunlight. The media's clamoring for you, Amara. WGN wants a follow-up interview and CNN's reached out. The narrative-shifting people see you as a hero, but Donovan's camp is pushing back. His lawyer sent a cease and desist letter this morning, claiming defamation. Amara's lips twitched into a grim smile. Let them try. His bribes are on video, and the ledger's in the IRS's hands. If he wants a fight, he'll lose. Over the next 6 months, Sterling Hotel's elite underwent a transformation unlike any in the hospitality industry. Amara closed the Chicago flagship for renovations not just of its physical spaces, but of its culture. Every employee underwent mandatory anti-bias training, designed by experts in diversity and inclusion. Amara implemented a new customer service protocol, rooted in her founding philosophy. Every guest, regardless of race, appearance, or status, was to be treated like royalty. Security cameras were upgraded with an eye to flag differential treatment. And a guest feedback system was launched, allowing real-time reporting of issues via a mobile app. The app, branded Horizon Voice, became a model for the industry, with other chains scrambling to adopt similar tech in 2025's hyper-connected world. Jasmine Carter thrived in her new role as Assistant General Manager, her courage in exposing Sterling's bribe system earning her respect among the staff. Maria Alvarez, now housekeeping supervisor, oversaw a team trained to prioritize guest dignity over profit. The Thompsons, the black family Amara had advised, returned for a complimentary stay in the presidential suite, their daughter's pink. Backpack a bright spot in the lobby. Thank you, the father, Michael Thompson, told Amara during a private meeting. You gave us a voice when no one else would. The class action lawsuit grew to include 40 plaintiffs, their stories echoing Amara's. Rooms reassigned, amenities denied, staff hostility based on race or appearance. In a landmark settlement, Jenkins Horizon Group paid $15 million to the plaintiffs, funded partly by liquidated assets from Sterling's former leadership. The IRS investigation into the service fees led to fines and criminal charges against several ex-managers, including Richard Bennett, who faced tax evasion counts. Charles Donovan, stripped of his platinum status and banned from Jenkins Horizon properties, faded from Chicago's elite circles, his political connections unable to shield him from the public's wrath. The X platform continued to amplify the Michaels story, with hashtag hotel bias evolving into hashtag Horizon for All, a hashtag celebrating Amara's reforms. A viral post from an Hotel Truth 22.5, the anonymous account that leaked the memo, revealed they were a former Sterling employee inspired by Amara's stand. "She showed us change is possible," the post read, garnering 2 million likes. Amara's follow-up WGN interview aired live in August 2025, drew record viewership. "This isn't about one hotel," she told the anchor. "It's about an industry that's forgotten its purpose: to serve everyone, not just the wealthy." By January 2026, when Sterling Hotel's Elite reopened, it was unrecognizable. Customer satisfaction soared to 95%, a record for the chain, and revenue climbed 35% as diverse travelers flocked to a hotel that promised and delivered equality. Industry analysts cited Amara's reforms as a turning point, with major chains like Marriott and Hilton announcing similar anti-bias initiatives. The 2024 Coastal Resorts lawsuit, once an outlier, became a catalyst for a broader reckoning, with Amara at its forefront. Amara stood on the rooftop of the reopened Sterling, the Chicago skyline glittering below. Jasmine and Maria joined her, their faces glowing with pride. "We did this," Jasmine said, her voice soft. "You made it possible." "No," Amara corrected, her eyes on the horizon. "We all did. And we're not done." Her phone buzzed with a text from Lila Thompson. Asterisk, "Our daughter wants to be a hotel CEO like you someday. Thank you for showing her it's possible." Asterisk, Amara smiled, her heart full. This was her legacy, not just a reformed hotel, but a spark for change across an industry and a nation. Amara Jenkins' story is more than a tale of triumph. It's a testament to the power of resilience, justice, and compassion. A journey from a single mother scrubbing floors to a CEO reshaping an industry teaches us that no barrier is too high when driven by purpose. The humanistic core of this story lies in its celebration of dignity. Every guest, every voice, every person deserves respect, no matter their background. Amara's fight against systemic discrimination mirrors the struggles many face in 2025's America, where issues of race and equality remain at the forefront. Her victory shows that change is possible when courage meets strategy, and that one person's stand can inspire a movement. The Thompsons, Jasmine, Maria all found their voices because Amara amplified theirs, proving that leadership isn't about power, but about empowering others. This story also reminds us of the cost of silence. Sterling's corruption thrived because too many looked the other way. Amara's refusal to accept injustice, backed by evidence and action, challenges us to confront bias in our own lives, whether in workplaces, communities, or systems. Her use of technology, from recordings to X's viral reach, underscores how 2025's connected world can amplify truth, but only if we use it responsibly. If Amara's story moved you, if you believe in a world where dignity triumphs over discrimination, join us at Legacy Stories. Hit the subscribe button, share this story, and type "justice" in the comments to stand with those fighting for fairness. Every week, we bring you tales of courage and change stories that inspire, challenge, and remind us of our shared humanity. Don't miss out. Subscribe to Legacy Stories now, and let's keep the conversation going.